So I heard that the Packers were the worst 13-3 team ever. That's what I heard all throughout the media for these last couple of weeks. Boy, did we make these guys look stupid. And you know something else? That revenge cake. I'm having a nice piece of that rice revenge cake sitting right here on my desktop, right here. It tastes so good. I told you vengeance was going to be ours, and we got it. We did it. 28-23 the final score at Lambeau Field against the Seattle Seahawks. Really good game. Really good game, you guys. I was thoroughly entertained from start to finish. There was never a dull moment. Even when we were up 21-3, I knew that there was absolutely no way we could absolutely keep our foot up, or absolutely no way we could have our foot off the gas at any point, because I knew Seattle, Russell Wilson, a resilient team, can make a comeback at any point and pull off a win. And that's exactly what the Packers needed to do, was to keep the foot on the gas. Even though the offense kind of did take its foot off the gas a little bit, and the defense, coached by Mike Pettin, decided to go generally pretty soft as to take away the deep game. Obviously, the big plays were they were limited, but there were some big plays here and there. But I got to give a huge credit to Mike Pettin and the defense for coming up big and making some plays when needed. Preston Smith with the big sack on Russell Wilson to give the Packers the ball back to ice the game. All I gotta say is, you guys, we did it. We righted the wrong of the 2014 NFC Championship this time. We defeated the Seattle Seahawks in a huge game. Also, congratulations to Matt LaFleur for being the first head coach, the first rookie head coach to win a playoff game. Obviously, Matt LaFleur has done such a great job, and as I've said in a prior video, this team has taken on really the personality of this guy. Really quiet, confident guy with resiliency and just being able to come in and just be able to defy the odds and just come away with a victory, even though it's quite ugly. And at times in this game, it did get ugly. Russell Wilson put the team on his back and was just able to carry this team into making a very, very close comeback. Obviously, being up 21-3, that was obviously really great. It was a great start in the first half, and then the second half, Russell just came roaring back on some nice running plays. He was able to make some nice deep throws to Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett was his main target. He made a few nice throws to DK Metcalf, and obviously that duo in Seattle is super good. Tyler Lockett is obviously that speedy guy that can burn you at any point. He can also take off for a long touchdown. DK Metcalf, obviously the big receiver that can make some big plays. He's super explosive. Obviously, it was not perfect, as our corners did get their lunch eaten up a few times. Guys came in and out with injuries, and obviously that was quite unbelievable. That how many players went out with injuries. It first started with Darnell Savage. Kevin King went out with an injury with a little bit of a helmet to helmet ding. Alan Lazard went out with an ankle injury and then came back in the second half, but did not really see the field, and he didn't even record a catch in this game. It was all Devontae. It was really all Devontae Adams in the passing game, save for a couple of nice catches by Jimmy Graham, a couple catches for Aaron Jones. But obviously, the story of the day was Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Rodgers on offense. These three guys, this trio here, the main trio of the offense, obviously needed to come through, and they did. Aaron Jones got the two rushing touchdowns for us. Obviously being the red zone running back he has been all season, has done an absolutely fantastic job and was crucial in building that lead to go up 21-3, taking that lead going into the second half before Seattle decided to make it a game and make it quite a bit of a nail biter. And got to give it to Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks for making the necessary adjustments to make this a really, really tight game after it looked like it was complete dominance by the Packers. And it was more Seattle fighting back than us taking our foot off the gas. We really didn't take our foot off the gas on offense. And the defense, obviously, there were some things that need to be worked out here and there. There was some pressure that came in at crucial times. The run defense stiffened today, and Marshawn Lynch was really held down to a very minimal gains, and that was definitely really, really nice to see was the run defense stiffen, and that could be very encouraging coming into the San Francisco game next week. And that will definitely be a much tougher chore, as there are better running backs to face, like Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, and Matt Breida. Those trio are super deadly, and they can take off, and they can slice any defense any day. To go over the stats really quick of the offense, Aaron was 16 of 27, much more efficient this time. And 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, both all of them went to Devontae. Aaron Jones got 21 carries for 62 and 2 touchdowns, grinded out some tough yards. Tyler Ervin got a couple carries, and they were for 25 yards. And for the receiving core, obviously this was definitely a Devontae game. 8 catches for 160 yards and the 2 scores. Jimmy Graham got 3 catches, but the last one was the big one to seal the game, as it went for a first down on a 3rd and long. Geronimo got a catch for 11. Obviously, that not much to speak of after that, as not really any other receiver was really able to make much of a difference in this game. I was a little bit disappointed to see that our running backs weren't really catching any passes. Aaron Jones did catch a couple, and Jamal Williams only got 1 catch. And the rest of our tight ends didn't really record a catch. Only Jay Sternberger only got 1 for 2. But I think this is something that we can say for the 49ers, and if we get past the 49ers, definitely the Super Bowl, I would definitely love to see this team open up the playbook a little bit more, and let's see what we can do to get a really complete game on offense, as this team really did not really quite, I would say, put it together for a complete game on offense. That is something that we will absolutely have to do against the 49ers, as they have a really sharp offense. A lot of their players are healthy, and we will probably have to score quite a bit of points in order to be able to keep pace with them, as well as bring it on defense, as the 49ers also have a defense that can bring it too. You have Nick Bosa, you have Dee Ford, Richard Sherman at corner. All of those guys are key to the success of the 49ers defense, and it will be a very tough chore next week. As for the defense, statistic-wise, Blake Martinez led the way in tackles with 7 tackles and 3 assists. And tied with him was Jair Alexander, actually, with 7 tackles and 2 assists. The sacks mostly came from the Smith brothers. Both of them got 2 each, and Kenny Clark with 1 sack. Heck of a game by those guys, and the pressure was definitely there, but at times it was lacking, because sometimes you'll have to let up the pressure in order to play some dime. And that's exactly what Seattle was able to do when the Packers were in the dime packages and playing in zone coverage. Russell ate them up, and that was just a means to take away the deep play, or the big plays, which has been haunting this defense all season. And that's why we saw Russell eat this defense alive, was for that reason. With all that said, It was just beautiful to beat Seattle in the playoffs. Beautiful. I'm just about to finish up this last taste of the revenge cake. Chocolate flavored. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. And before I go, I'm just going to let this out because I am so pumped. Woo! Woo! Go Pack Go!